President Mahama pushed out Koku, Anyidoho.
Me and John Mahama. Why he and his people always try to play the victim as if I have issues with them. Let me tell you, Paul. President Mills died on 24th July. 26th July in the morning, around 6 a.m., I got a call from Okujetua Blakwa. Not that we were that close, but he calls to say, oh, I'm just checking on you. Okay. Well, I accept it. 2-3 minutes later, I get a call from Omani Buama. Omani Buama and Blakwa at the time were two sides of the same coin. Omani was very frontal that, well, Sami called you and he couldn't tell you what he should have told you. But anyway, yesterday, so which means 25th, the man died. The day after, we had a meeting with the new president. And a decision has been taken. He says he cannot work with you.
Oh, wow.
Yes. This is Omani Buama, an MPP boy who came through CJA.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Suddenly is calling me to tell me that the new president, of course, subsequently the new president collapsed Information Ministry, added the communication and gave to him. Today he's collapsed the IT, added it to Election Directorate and given to him. So Omani is his real right-hand man. So Omani says the president says that
he cannot work with you.
And that for obvious reasons, he cannot work with you.
What were those obvious reasons?
He didn't state.
You should know.
And that, I don't know.
But he says it's obvious.
It wasn't obvious to me. And that by close of day, I'll be informed. So I should consider some 3 parastatals that I'll be shifted to as either deputy CEO or CEO. But as for the castle, I should forget it. I can't stay there any longer. That's how the conversation ended. Of course, at the end of that day, I didn't get a call. Three days later, I drove to Mr. Atuahoy. And this is the first time I'm mentioning his name at Westlands.
His home.
His home. I got the same information. Oh, Koku, you know, Prof is dead. And John says he cannot work with you. So are you going to go back to the bank?
Oh,
yeah.
After that
after this number of years, go back to the bank. Uncle Atu, well, you know, this is what John is saying. Hey! Paul, when I left Uncle Atu's house that morning, and I didn't commit suicide, it is not in my DNA to commit. Look, I couldn't believe it.
What did you tell Messi?
The third one was Henry Martin Newman. Today I'm opening up.
Oh, the chief of staff.
Yes.
Your man.
Now,
your boss.
Between Atuahoy and Omani, this was even before the burial of President Mills.
Yes, the date you are mentioning.
Yeah, before the burial. Martin Newman's own was after the burial.
What did he say?
The same message. And this was in his official bungalow at Cantonments, Chief of Staff bungalow.
Yeah, where Chief of Staff.
So he asked to see me and I went. The same story that, well, his own started that, well, Sani, oh, you leave. Believe, no, you leave for some 6 weeks. By the time you come back, we shall consider your political future. Mr. Newman, I've never said this story, but after 12 years, to the extent that you people continue to sit down and let John Mahama and his boys play the victim as if I'm the bad person, Mr. Newman, after 12 years, I'm mentioning your name. Uncle Atu, after 12 years, I'm mentioning your name. Because I will not allow them to play the victim any longer as if I'm the bad person. I have always been the victim. But for the sake of cohesion, I have kept quiet. But after 12 years, I will mention the names. Then the whole world know that the victim that John Mahama is playing is fake. I am the real victim. So Martin Newman tells me that John Mahama says that he cannot work with me, so I should leave the presidency. At that point, I said, well, Omani has told me, Uncle Atu has told me, Martin Newman, you are telling me, please go and tell the president that I'm not going on leave and I'm not leaving the presidency because we have an election to win and I have to protect the legacy of President Mills.
You were defying the new president?
Well, he hadn't spoken to me.
You can't do that.
Oh, listen, let me finish. So that's how I responded. I said, I'm not going anywhere. However, I'm a very regimented person. And you are a lawyer and an astute administrator. When President Mills wanted to appoint me, he got you to write to me officially.
So right.
So write.
And sack me.
And sack me. So that when I leave the presidency and I step out and anybody asks me, Koku, why have you left? Because the whole ploy that go on leave it was a ploy. Immediately you leave, they will say you have left. You don't like John Mahama. That's why after the death of President Mills, you have left. Now there's something I haven't told you. The day President Mills died, Paul. By the time I returned from the 37, my father, General Anyidoho, was seated in my office at the castle.
What did he tell you?
He had come to look for a son.
For what?
Who he knew that would be traumatized because of the death of his political father. He came, gave me his ties to whip on. But when he finished, you know what he told me? Koku, the president is going to be sworn, the new president is going to be sworn in tonight. You are not allowed to stay away from the swearing in. You will go to that swearing in. So gather yourself as a man and go to the swearing in. I know what I'm telling you as a father. Don't stay away from the swearing in. Paul, I obeyed my father and didn't stay away from the swearing in. Everything we could do to support John Mahama to take over. But after he got sworn in, this is what I had to go through. So I told Martin to write.
Yes, did he write?
Of course, that letter never. You know, you are doing this job and people are giving you some epithet, the bull. So people think that Taflacha bull ujibo. So they can, you know, corner you. So
has the letter come till today?
The letter didn't come.
Till 2016?
He never came.
Why didn't you ask to see John Mahama himself?
As president?
Yes, why didn't you ask for money that, okay, I hear you, but I would like to talk to President Mahama?
I mean, my position was that, to the extent that he himself hasn't told me anything, so me, I'll stay there and work. But of course.
You can't stay there and work.
So I stayed.
Okay.
And that is why after 2012 victory, they moved to the Flagstaff House. If you want to stay at the castle, stay there.
So you didn't go to the Flagstaff House?
Who was going to, I didn't even know they were going to move. I came to office one day. They had moved. So even as a remnant at the Flagstaff House, one afternoon, Valerie Sawyer sends me a message. About 3 p.m., the message came. I should make sure that by close of day, I pack out of the castle.
She as deputy chief of staff?
I don't know what post she was holding at the Flagstaff House. But you, Valerie, it was because of your father. Otherwise, in the Koku Hill campaign itself, did you ever follow us on any campaign trail?
But that was her house.
Fine. So President Mills rewarded your father.
Thank you so much to Paul Adumotre for a very beautiful interview. Now, Paul Adumotre asked a very important question. Koku, did you try to speak with the president at the time? He said no. Why did you not try to do that? He said the position had been made clear to him. And it took him time to be able to find the right answer to give to Paul Adumotre. My brother, I have done my checks. I have done some interviews because I have always been interested in this issue. Because Koku is a guy that I like. Now, my information is that when Koku was in the office of the president, he was extremely pompous. Pomposity. He was grandiose, huge in his own elements. My brother, my sister, there were times requests came in from the office of the vice president, then John Mahama, to the president John Evans Atta Mills. And because he was the spokesperson, and even more to John Evans Atta Mills, comments he passed. Things like, not exactly so. Oh, we are looking at doing better things, and then every time this from the vice president's office. Why? We are looking at doing better things. Things like that. My brother, my sister. And everything went to the ears of John Dramani Mahama. In fact, the office of the vice president was not respected the way it should have by Koku and people around the president. For some reason, they found a way of alienating the office of the vice president, John Dramani Mahama, and sometimes even trying to present some request. The vice president himself was scared. Listen, if it goes and Koku happens to see it, this is going to be trouble again. My brother, my sister. That's how far I can go. Information I have is that Koku was quite disrespectful to John Dramani Mahama. And all of a sudden, it was his turn to become president. And he didn't see it fit to have Koku represent him as his spokesperson. Therefore, he wanted him out of the office so another person could replace him. And Koku was not ready to move. But the information I have is that it was after the funeral of John Evans Atta Mills, not as he has put it out right now, or a day after the death, I was told to pack up and leave, as if there was a certain kind of hurry to get the prof out of the place so that all his bag and baggage could follow him, including Koku. It was all after the funeral, from the information I have from the corridors of power. After the funeral, the president wasn't comfortable working with the man who looked down on him as a person in his office in one way or the other. And he had the reports come to him time after time. Well, you were a very good friend to the prof, my political mentor. And I'm glad that he mentioned it. He was given different options. You can be this, you can be this, you can be this. But he didn't seem to be interested in that. He was used to the diplomatic life. Later, Koku was pushed into the national security, where he headed some department. And he was quite uncomfortable there because he was used to being close to the seat of power. It was almost like a demotion for him. But where work has to be done, it doesn't matter whether you are asked to be the messenger or the painter. The work has to be done. My brother, my sister, this was what happened. Mahama finished the tenure of office of John Evans Atta Mills, and then he went on to win his own personal first term. Koku was still in there, doing his things and supporting Mahama, to the point that Koku was running for an NDC office, and Mahama supported from his own pocket. Oh, take, run, win, and Koku went ahead. Now, after the elections, when Mahama was trying to come the second time and failed, people like Koku were those who came out to say that Mahama was in the lead. Do we remember that statement? Mahama is in the lead, not just in the lead, vast lead. Remember, it became a certain catchphrase for teasing the NDC and also Koku Anyidoho. Mahama didn't win that election. To come for his second tenure, Nana Addo won. And that was where Koku went berserk. After the Atta Mills incident, they were still in power. So it looked like egos were massaged. Koku was still in there. National security here and there. When he was arrested, Mahama went there. And that was the photo you saw earlier. My brother, my sister. But Koku later said that Mahama only came there to pretend that he was a hypocrite. My brother, my sister. When Mahama lost power, Koku came full-fledged, throwing missiles all over the place against Mahama. And went ahead to say Mahama had destroyed the NDC time and again. Mahama never responded to any of those comments because he had seen Koku earlier when Atta Mills was president, put up that same character, demeaning his office and his own person. So he was not surprised. My brother, my sister. And Koku continued on and on, to the point that he even started to flirt with the NPP. He was comfortable because they supposedly were sponsoring a certain Atta Mills office, to the chagrin of the Atta Mills family in one way or the other. We won't go too much into it, but Koku was comfortable. At least some kind of respect was given to Atta Mills in his own opinion. And maybe some money was also passing through the foundation, and he was able to keep himself financially afloat. In fact, he criticized Mahama over and over for all the 8 years that the NPP was in power. Mahama never uttered a word. Oh! When he said that he impugned that Mahama killed Atta Mills in one way or the other, he didn't go direct, and we all heard it. Mahama had destroyed the party. Mahama had done this. On social media, we heard Koku over and over. There were times that I had to even step in on social media and talk to Koku, and he was good enough to respond to me. I give it to him. And he was very respectful. Our prayer was that they would sort out the differences. But as long as NDC was in opposition, sorting out their differences will cut the trouble, the money from the NPP. Do you link it together? The moment you make peace with your own party, the NDC, that is your end with whatever you are getting through the Atta Mills Foundation from the NPP. So Koku never made peace until the huge, ugly, irresponsible elephant was chased back to the bush after 8 years. And Mahama became president again, to the shock of Koku. Because he never believed, especially that prophets, renowned, respected prophets, said there was no day he would be president. And they went ahead to say that his hands were bloody. Why? Because he had murdered Atta Mills. Mahama never responded to any of those. Can you believe this? Never to Koku, never to any of the prophets. Interestingly, before he ascended to the throne again, all those prophets came back as if to apologize. But they came with new prophecies. You know what? Because of your good heart, God has ordained you again to be the next president. Koku never saw it coming. Boom! He became president. I tried to be able to make things happen again in my own way because I like Koku. But my brother, from that time, Koku stopped criticizing the NDC. Was it a way to get back to the president? Did he ever say, oh, I am sorry that I probably went overboard? No, he never did it. But for Mahama, he has treated Koku Anyidoho, Samuel Koku Anyidoho, like the way he would treat his own brother. He supported him to win at least one election. He pushed him into a position That was good enough